Hey, it's Adam Cardinal, Cardinal and Company team at HomeSmart. You're about to watch Next Level Home Ownership, sponsored by TMF Mortgage Professionals at Shamrock Home Loans. Great informative series, all about bringing your home ownership to the next level. Enjoy the show. Hey, welcome to the next episode of Next Level Home Ownership, sponsored by TMF Mortgage Professionals at Shamrock Home Loans. I'm Adam Cardinal, Cardinal and Company team at HomeSmart, and we are here with Carmine DeLuca. Did I do that right? Carmine DeLuca from GoFixxIt.
You nailed it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming out today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for asking me. Thank you.
Yeah. So in this series, it's all next level home ownership stuff. 203K loans, renovation loans, just plain out, hey, I want to invest in my property and boost up its value and change some things up. We always have a hard time with these renovations and organizing contractors. So where do we begin? Where does GoFixxIt fit into that? Where do we begin with you, and how can you help?
GoFixxIt, I'd like to, if I could start a little bit from the beginning and how GoFixxIt kind of evolved from a larger commercial construction company into what we know today as GoFixxIt, who specialize in home repair services. The owners of Cobalt recognized that there was a need in the residential market. They were being tremendously underserved in trying to do even the simplest home repair project. I like to use this example of upgrading a bathroom. Maybe someone wants a new tile floor.
Yeah.
And so they call a tile person, and they come over and they say, we can do this, $800, let me know when the plumber comes to take the toilet off. So now that project just became a lot more complicated. They've got to contact the plumber, organize it with him, get the timing right, get the pricing right, and know that these people are actually going to come when they're supposed to come, because
that's the hardest
that could be
part.
the only bathroom they have in the house.
Yeah.
And so now that project comes to a standstill.
After, more than a decade in real estate, and then jumping into home ownership myself in my early 20s, the hardest thing is getting the contractor to show up. Everybody knows a guy. It's Rhode Island. Everybody knows a guy. But getting that guy to show up is a whole different thing, and getting that guy to be consistent in his performance over time is a whole nother thing too. When you can go to a reputable company like GoFixxIt, you're basically the band leaders.
Well, that's again, the problem that they recognized, 10, 12 years ago. That's times 100 today.
Yes.
So getting the right contractor to show up, knowing the level of expertise, if you will, and the quality of their work. So what we do at GoFixxIt is we have a number of subcontractors in all the disciplines, whether it's electrical, plumbing, tile, roofing, carpentry, painting, and we vet those subcontractors. And we don't just bring someone in and put them on, a job.
Yeah,
we go out, we look at, we check the work that they've done at other locations. We ask the right questions of them because, again, the owners of our company, one of the owners is the general contractor licensed. Mm-hmm. So we take care of all that up front, and we match that level of expertise up with the client's expectations.
If I call today and I got a project, and let's say it's not an emergency, because if it's an emergency thing, that's a whole different thing. Right. But it's not an emergency. Hey, I'm going to be renovating my kitchen this summer. If I call you today, or if I go online and book the appointment, if someone called today, how long is it before someone actually can come out to the house to take a look at my project?
Okay, so I'm almost afraid to answer this.
On average, we're not going to hold you to it.
No, and the reason I'm saying it is because some days we can actually do it the same day.
Yeah.
But we respond very quickly to that because we know that when they're reaching out, they're excited about a project. They want to get it started. It might have been on their mind for several months or years from people that I've talked to that have been so frustrated, and they finally, they're reaching out to a company that they've maybe been referred to, mm-hmm. or they heard about, And so we want to make sure that they have the best experience possible.
Absolutely.
And I am I know right up front about this because I'm one of the people that actually schedule the site visits.
Yes.
So our process begins once we learn about the client's needs. We find out some basic information, their name, their address, email, and phone number. And with that, I can make the phone call and say, and if it was you, I say, Adam, when's a good time for us to come out and do a site visit? We want to learn more about the project. And that's all free of charge. So we would schedule it based on, a convenient time for you. And we go out, we take the measurements, we take photos, we have the conversation about, again, your expectations, develop the timeline. So we learn all that, and then we put that into what we call a scope of work document.
Yeah, correct. Which breaks everything down.
Exactly, and it's broken down by discipline, if you will.
Yeah.
So if there's a plumbing component, and maybe there's some demolition involved, if it's a bathroom remodel and you want the old vanity taken out, you want to replace the tub with a shower, we're going to put down what the demolition portion is. Then we're going to put down the installation of the new items. If it's a customer supplied items, which a lot of times it could be, because that's a personal choice. We don't want to go do shopping for someone and purchase the wrong thing. So we help them find the correct resources so they can get that product that they're looking for.
So talking about breaking everything down line item, in this series we're going to be talking about 203K loans, Title I loans, which that is needed. That's required. If you're going to go get one of these 203K loans or Title I loans, watch the rest of the series, you'll learn all about those. You can't just say, hey, my project's going to cost $20,000, give me a loan for $20,000. There has to be a line item, scope of work breakdown, all the way down, see everything. And your company can provide that, where a normal contractor, they typically can't do that or don't want to do that because it's time consuming.
Right, and for us, the reason why it goes so smoothly, if you will, and seamless is because we already have the process in place. So we're working this process, if you will, every day on every job. So it's not like we get in front of a 203K and now all of a sudden we've got this monster in front of us that's completely different and foreign to what our standards are.
Yeah.
It's a normal project for us.
Yeah, and for normal, everyday contractor, which are great. I love all my contractors, but there are a very small percent that understand 203K loans and they just can't work with them. So I review the scope of work. Everything looks good. I love your proposal. What do I need to put down for a deposit, and how long before work starts?
Okay, so the scope of work document is the one that we ask the customer to really pay attention to, because that's the time when we want them to make any changes. So that's the verification of both what they still want and our impression or our interpretation of everything we've learned at that site visit. And once they say, yes, this is what I want you to price, then we move to the proposal stage. And in the proposal stage, it's broken down the same way it is basically in the scope of work. So you'll have that demolition cost, you'll have that plumbing cost, you'll have the electrical cost. So if for some reason, it might be over budget for what you were thinking.
Yeah.
But you know what? You see, okay, it's going to cost me a lot to put that new electrical fixture in that corner because I've got to put new wiring in, I've got to put a new outlet. So maybe I can take that portion, I can pull back on that.
Kind of like a la carte items. Hey, you know what? You're at the grocery store, you're in line. Ever have $20? You have $20 cash before debit cards, and the bill was $21, and you're going, I think I'll put the bread back. I'll keep the candy bar.
Yeah. It really helps the client out because it's easier for them to see where they can make adjustments.
I like that.
So
how about time-wise? Once we've committed to the proposal, on average, how long before construction can start?
That's right now. It's probably in the 4 to 6 week.
Yeah.
It could be run out to 8 weeks, but that's all, project driven. So obviously, the more complex the project is, the more items that, for example, that it's not just a repair; it's a remodel where there's new products that have to be ordered. Sometimes things get delayed because of that timeline when that new product is
Yeah.
coming in. And that prevents us from beginning. So imagine, someone doing a kitchen remodel.
Yeah.
And we said, well, we can go in Tuesday and start taking your kitchen apart.
Yeah.
But the new countertops and the new cabinets aren't coming in for 5 weeks.
Yeah. Yep.
And so now what? You don't have a kitchen for 5 weeks?
Yeah.
So
And we're gonna.
there's a lot to be considered when
Yeah.
you're putting together a timeline for a
Yep.
project.
And we're actually going to be talking about the timeline with Dana Breggia from Kitchen and Bath Gallery in this series as well. Talk about custom order kitchen cabinets, the timeline for all those things, and how long that takes to actually get the stuff in. In closing, anything else of importance that you would want to mention to anyone who's thinking, hey, I need to do this. I want to do my project. I love this idea of GoFixxIt. What's one other important takeaway you would give to them?
The biggest thing I think is making the commitment to begin the process.
Yeah.
So approving that proposal, signing the contract. For our company, there is a deposit required. It could be a 50% deposit. It could be portioned out on larger projects. It could be over payments of a third. But that is the process. We have to know that we've secured that customer. They're 100% intent on moving forward and getting this project done. And that's when they go on our schedule board, on our project board. So when someone says, when I ask the question, when do you, I don't want to do this probably till July. I always say, well, do you plan on having it done by July, or do you plan on starting it in July? Because that's where they miss the boat sometimes. We started receiving calls in January for people that wanted deck repairs done for this summer.
Yep.
And kudos to those people who were calling in January, because now I'm getting people, and are we going to be able to get it done by July 4th?
Yeah, could be tight.
It might be tight, So, but that person that called in January and knew exactly what they wanted and weren't afraid to make the commitment, they're getting that deck done.
There you go. Make a commitment. Call GoFixxIt. Carmine DeLuca from GoFixxIt. Thank you very much for coming out today.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure.
You've been watching Next Level Homeownership, sponsored by the TMF Mortgage Professionals team at Shamrock Home Loans. I'm Adam Cardinal, Cardinal and Company team at HomeSmart. We'll see you next time.